Hi everybody, it's Amy again, and this is part 2 of my little story, my journey about, emotional and physical abuse and just how I kind of turned my life around. And I just kind of wanted to talk to you about my little adulthood quickly. So when I left for college, my senior year of high school, and graduated, and then I went to Slippery Rock in Pennsylvania, I majored in L-Ed and special ed, and I was determined to get it done in 4 years. So I ended up taking a lot of summer classes too, because I think it was like a 5-year program, and I needed to be done in 4 years. It's just that simple. That's my type of personality. So I went to there. I made the cheerleading squad, so I was cheering, and that was really, it wasn't a good fit for me. I came from cheerleading where it was very strict, very regimented, and we got things done that needed to be done, and it was just totally different. And, I'd look at these girls that were on the squad, and someone would be like little tiny sticks and stuff, and here comes the little rock walking around like boom, 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 I could crush someone's head with my calves. I wasn't that, person. I was, a tumbler, and, I just was not, them. And for me, I always compared myself to others. Always, always, always. And it would make me feel so bad about myself. And but on the outside, you would think that everything was okay, because I always had to put on that front for everybody. But so I ended up only doing 1 season for that. I did football season. But then I really started to work out a lot at the gym. So they opened at 6, so I would be there every day at 6, and I'd work out. And then sometimes I wouldn't eat, and I'd go to class. Sometimes I wouldn't eat lunch either, and I'd go back to class. And then later at night, I had this really great friend. We liked to run and go to the gym. Her name was Erin, and we would go do all the classes and stuff. And sometimes she would be like, let's go get something to eat, and I'd be like, oh no, I got stuff in my room, and I wouldn't eat. Sometimes I would. I was still at that point sometimes binging and purging, and always looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, you're not good enough. You will never look like such and such, and you're always going to look like this. And, I was probably 305 pounds. I'm like a short person. So I'm 4'11 3/4. So almost 5 feet. But, I'm just a little short person, and, that's my body type, and I was never satisfied. I was never okay with it. But I was on the straight and narrow my freshman year. I was so scared that I'd get bad grades and I'd have to go back home. That was my drive, because I never wanted to set foot back in that house ever. And I made it my goal. And I would say I'm smart, but I had to work for my grades. I did. It wasn't, I could read it one time and it would sink in and I'd get an A on the test. Not me. But I did really well. I did really good. I was proud of myself. And then I had a boyfriend, but we kind of the whole going to college thing, separate schools and stuff. And these fraternity boys would always write on our little whiteboard that we had on our door, and I'd always cross it out and be like, oh, these dirty fraternity boys, I'm never gonna go to one of those parties, that's just gross, all they do is blah, blah, blah. So fast forward a little bit, I joined a sorority the next year, and made some really, really great friends, some lifelong friends that touch my heart every day, that I couldn't live without. And I also met a fraternity boy, and I fell in love with him instantly, and now I'm married to him. His name's Justin, and I love him so much. But our relationship, we kind of were inseparable, I guess you'd say. maybe not right first at the beginning, but a little bit later. And then I started having a lot of issues. I had endometriosis, and I had 2 surgeries for it. They put me on this shot called Lupron, which sent me into menopause. So at the age of 20, I might have been 21 at that point too. No, I think I was 20. 20. I had gained 30 pounds in 3 months because I was on this shot because I was in menopause and I was sweating and it was just crazy. And I couldn't take it anymore. I would have rather been in pain at that point than have gained weight because that was like my thing. Like, I'm gaining this weight and people are looking at me and what are they saying and they're judging me and what are they thinking. And so at that point, I'd still every once in a while, throw up. Stackers were a big thing. Hydroxycut was a big thing. And here I was popping the pills. Nothing worked. And I would not eat. Now I know that doesn't work very well either. But we ended up getting engaged our senior year, and we moved down to Maryland after we graduated, and I got a job, and he had a job, and I was teaching, and it was awesome, and it was very stressful, though. Friday nights were like our thing where he would come and he'd bring dinner, and we'd sit and cut out stuff, lamination. I'd do IEPs, and he'd do lesson plans, or I'd do lesson plans, and he'd be, helping me straighten up the room and stuff, and, like, that was our Friday nights. And then Saturdays, we would, like, always try to do something, or, we would just, like, veg out, like, in the house. And, when I was stressed, I would eat. When I was sad, I would eat. And when I was happy, I would eat. So we kind of got into some bad habits about eating, and eating out, too, was a big thing. And, like, I would go all day while I was teaching, and I'd snack, but I wouldn't eat. So now that I know that is not good for you. You should not do that. But I didn't know. No one had taught me this. So fast forward, we get married in 2005, and we end up getting pregnant in August of 2005. Well, it was early July, but found out in August of 2005. And I had Julio March 2006. And he's like this precious little baby, and now he's 9. And then, and I was teaching 2nd grade, and it still paid me to teach and to put him in childcare, but things were changing for me. I was really stressed out with school and the fact that I'm with these other kids who I loved. I really did love them, but I wanted to be with my baby at home, and but we needed the money. We did, and I was stressed to the point that I was eating even more because I thought that would soothe me, and it did for like a minute, and then I'd want more, and I'd crave more, and I'd crave more, and I'd crave more, and then I'd get mad at myself for doing that, and I'd look at myself in the mirror, and I'd be sad like the way I looked, and I'd get mad that I didn't have any clothes to wear. So, here I am, pregnant. I had postpartum depression with him, and then, here we go, August again. I'm pregnant again, and this time I'm pregnant with Anella Rose, and she came the next April or March. So we have 2 little ones, and decide that I'm still going to teach. So I'm at a school again, teaching special ed, and here comes August again, and I get pregnant again. So this time it's Antonia. So here I am. I'm pregnant. I have a 1-year-old, a newborn, and I'm pregnant again. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is crazy. And I think back about how I ate when I was pregnant with them, and I feel so bad. Like, I tried to eat well, but like, I had cravings, but like pickles were my craving, and they're not that bad. But I mean, any other time, like, and I was, breastfeeding and stuff, I was not giving them what they needed. And I look back at that, mom guilt right there. And if you're a mom, you know that feeling right there. So we ended up moving to Maryland, so we thought we would have more help with the kids and turned out like it just wasn't working out up there. So we moved back down to North Carolina, and here I am. You know, I had joined this thing where they talked about like food being an addiction, and I was definitely addicted to food. Like, I used food to soothe everything that I was feeling. I didn't want to feel all those emotions, so I would shove them down with food. And it could have been anything that I wanted, like anything that was there. Like, I wasn't even hungry. I might not even have liked that food, but I ate it because that's just what I did. And so now I have these 3 babies, and I want to stay home with them. So I ended up being able to stay home with them, and it was very much a struggle, very much. And you know what kept happening? The weight was climbing and climbing and climbing. So in 2012, I think it was, I decided that nothing was going to work for me. I was hoping every time I went to the doctor, they'd tell me I had a thyroid problem, or I had some sort of problem that was making me this heavy, which deep down I knew what it was. It was me. It was me and the choices that I was making. Well, I decided to have lap band surgery. Went through all the things to have lap band surgery, and I had it, and I lost about 30 pounds with it, and that was like 2012, and I was doing good with it for a while, and then my husband lost his job. We did not have insurance for a year and a half, and we had to get medical assistance. They don't pay for you to go see a specialty doctor like that. And where was I going to come up with that money? How was I going to justify paying for that when I had 3 kids' mouths to feed? And, like, my husband, too. So he was out of work for a year and a half. I went to work for a company doing some office work and stuff. And it was, you know, a blessing for us right then and there. But you name it. I tried every single diet. Every single thing. The weird stuff, the stuff that's advertised on TV, like the injections, like B12 or whatever, to spend so much money on that stuff. I was so down, and I just had so much hope going into these places and these people, and it would work for like a minute, and then I'd be back to where I was. There I was again. So, after the surgery, which I had lost 30 pounds, gained it all back, plus more. So here I was, unhappy with myself, not getting any pictures, because I didn't ever want to be in these pictures, because I would look at myself in the mirror and not even recognize who that person was. I'd look at pictures and I'd be like, that's not me. Like, I don't look like that. To the point that then it was like, I'm not even getting any pictures taken. Y'all better like back off. If you post it on Facebook, I'm going to get angry at you and you're going to take it down. Because I didn't want people seeing the mess I was. They might have just looked at me and said, oh, she gained weight. But really, I was a mess in every place I was. So, fast forwarding to what's bringing me up to this point of where I started to realize that I could change my life. There was going to be no more Sheetz runs at 10 o'clock at night. There was going to be no more not eating during the day and then at night pigging out because you're so hungry. There was not going to be any more, I'm too tired and I don't have time to work out. I've got this person going here, I got this person doing this. I don't get time. I said it all the time. I really did. And I was very busy, but you know what? People told me all the time, make time for yourself. You have to. You have to take care of yourself. And I was like, you don't got my life. You don't know what's going on. No, I want to sleep and maybe watch one of the Real Housewives shows. Once all these children that are like 3, 2, and 1, or, 4, 3, and 2. Once they go to bed, I want to go to bed. I want to eat. I want to say to my husband, you want to go get McDonald's and spend money we didn't have and have a McFlurry. Yeah, because when I would I'd feel good eating it, and then as soon as I'd get halfway through, I'd be like, I don't really want this, and I couldn't stop. And I'd keep going, and then I'd wake up in the morning and get on the scale, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that again. I was just out of options. I was at my wit's end. I had done surgery. I did surgery, and that didn't even work for me. I thought that was the last resort, because my mom had done gastric bypass. Yeah, that didn't work for her either. It worked at first, but can't maintain it. So, I am going to stop this video now, and I'm going to pick up at where we are in part 3.